Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Thoroughbred Underdog, and here we are again with another episode of IWL in Wrestling Life. In this episode, we're going to talk about championships and prestige. And I think a lot of you, after it's all said and done, are going to like the way that I kind of compared this and what I use as an analogy for now. In wrestling and combat sports, really any sport, but not every sport considers the greatest prize a championship. Some sports have trophies, some sports have rings, some sports have medals, but in wrestling and UFC, we have championship titles, belts. Boxing, we have belts. And, in WWE, WWE and AEW specifically have more belts than any company probably in company history. WWE just recently revealed the championship. They just got new women's championships. We just, I want to say in May it was, we got a new World Heavyweight Championship for Seth Rollins. And, we think about what makes a championship valuable and what makes it prestige, what gives the belt prestige. And, sometimes in a case of like, you have a guy like John Cena back in 2015 when he won the United States Championship. He was bigger than the title at that moment. John Cena was very well renowned, world renowned, had Hollywood experience, and has won virtually every title. Before that, I think the only one he hasn't had yet was the Intercontinental Championship. But he's a multi-time WWE champion at that rate. And sometimes the championship makes the wrestler. Now, when it comes to championships and the prestige and whatnot, it's about the fight. I think when we're done looking back at Roman Reigns' reign, no pun intended, we're going to look back and see the people he's defended it against, how long he had it, of course, some of the moments he had when he had the championship, and just the overall match quality of the reigns. But it's also the previous reigns and the previous people who have had that title that makes the belt prestigious. So how does it compare to real life is the same way that in wrestling, you fight for a championship. I like to compare it to your significant other, male or female. We don't want women to feel just completely objectified here. But how does a significant other compare to a championship? And, well, in a lot of ways it does. This is in wrestling life here. So when you have a championship, you think about the years it took for you to fight to get to it, to get the opportunity to have it. You think about, we don't really think about the previous people who've had it, but, you think about the fight that you've had to go through to find this championship, just to even get a shot at it. And you think about how valuable that championship is, how that championship has only been around the waist of a select few. That's how a championship is. That's how it is with a relationship. When you get someone and you recognize that not many people get this opportunity, you recognize that this person has had relationships, not many, but when they have, they were committed to just that one person, numerous years for a very long time. That's the same way a championship is. You fight for it, you recognize the opportunity, you recognize the value of it, but you also recognize that when you get that championship, it doesn't stop when you get it. You have to defend it. Same way you have to defend your relationship. I don't mean literally fight other men or other women for who's yours or what's yours, but you fight by showing and not losing what you did to get that championship, not losing the tangibles and the qualities and credentials and characteristics that made you get the chance of that championship. You know what I mean? And that's how it is in wrestling. You get that championship, now the hard part is defending it. The hard part is you have it now. Now you have to keep it. Now you have to fight to keep it. You have to maintain the same fight that you had to acquire this championship. And now that you have it. Now, that's just how it is in a relationship. But what else is prestigious? Your word. And your word should be like a championship. You see, your word is very prestigious. When you give someone your word, it's like a successful title defense. And the more you defend it, the more and more you keep your word with people, the more value that championship or your word gets. When you lose or you fail to keep your word, your championship starts to lose a little bit of value. But that happens sometimes, right? Look at how many times Ric Flair won the belt, but how often he lost it too. But that championship is one of the most valuable championships in history. So it's like, your word is like that too. You gotta protect the prestige of your word. Because, excuse me, it's the championship that you have before anything else. It's your first championship. So it's always gonna have a special meaning to you, a special significance to you. But it's your own championship you created, kind of like Taz did with the FTW belt, kind of how Ted DiBiase did with the $1 Million Championship. You created this. This is yours. So you have to defend it even harder than the ones that are already prefabricated, because it's yours. So you have to make it, you have to give it prestige. And that's the way your word is. Your word is prestigious. So you have to keep it, you have to give it value and protect that championship and defend that championship. So yeah, that's what it's like. Relationships, your spouses are like championships in wrestling. You have to fight for it. You have to defend it. You have to remember, the grind that it took for you to get that. It's a lot of men who aren't Casanovas and get all the women and stuff like that. Some of us went through some shit, went through a lot of stuff to meet that wife. And it's the biggest thing in the world to us, just like in wrestling. The championship, the WWE championship, is the biggest prize. So for a man who aspires to have a family someday, and a wife and kids, that wife is the championship, is the biggest prize that they can have and fight for, because it's the mother of their children. It's the wife, it's the supporter, it's the partner, it's the twin, it's the other half, the better half. And some will say that if it's not your purpose as a heterosexual monogamous man to get married, then what's your point? Just like in wrestling, there's a lot of people that get into it and they say, well, if you're not here to be a WWE champion, to fight for the highest title, what's your purpose of being here? So it's like, it's not something everybody aspires to. Some people are fine just being happy to be there. Being happy to be the manager of the champion. Some people aren't, though. Some people actually want to be the champion. and tired of being the manager. They want to have the championship for themselves. They don't want to be the Marty Jannetty. They want to be the Shawn Michaels and have the main title too. So that's how it's relevant to a relationship. You want to fight for what you have and defend it at all costs, and recognize the value of it and the prestige of what you have. The longer you're with this person and you have this championship, the more value it has. You're married to somebody 20 years, that's a very long time to have a championship. And its prestige goes up the more she defends it. And y'all keep y'all union and keep it together. And sworn off anybody that's trying to fight you for it and take it from you. So that's how it's relevant to a relationship. Again, your word is like a championship as well. You have to defend it. And the more and more you keep your word, the more prestigious your championship is. Because at the end of the day, we as men, all we have is our balls and our word. So we have to keep that title prestigious. Keep that championship of our word, that word championship, prestigious. So guys, thank you for watching this video. I'll be back next Thursday with another episode in Wrestling Life, IWL. And I'm the Thoroughbred Underdog. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves. Peace.